Good morning. Yeah, it's yeah. This is muted. I have to use an extra setting on my audio interface, and if it's not turned on, then the mic is not on. Even though like the lights are on, it's just not on. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I'm so tired. I slept okay, it's just I didn't have enough time to sleep. The collab ended yesterday, and then I popped the sleeping pill. I went to sleep as soon as I could. I woke up, I did a 4 a.m. members only chat. And then after that I had to do a lot of work. I shouldn't be yawning, but and then I have to record a podcast, and I have to go meet my family. Okay. Kind of a bummer that I have to be sleep deprived from the stream that I was looking forward to the most this week, but it is what it is. Hey everybody. Hello. My name is Vesper Noir, the resident scholar of the Adventures Guild Tempus and a member of HOLOSTARS English, and I'm trying my best. The bikes will wake you up. So there's a good chance that I'm not going to get through all 270 bicycles that were submitted. I'm gonna go for about 3 hours today. I'm gonna go for about 3 hours, and then I have to cut after 3.5 hours because I have to meet up with family for lunch, and it's about an hour drive. And so I gotta drive 2 hours there, and I gotta drive there 1 hour, back 1 hour. That's 2 hours, and then I have to record. I have to record the podcast at 4, so I absolutely positively cannot go even a minute over 3 hours right now. Yeah. No, I'm sorry, no part 2 stream. Like, it's just I can't. I can't. We're recording a podcast. Huh, interesting. Hold on a second. Do people not know that, like, we have a podcast? It's been, like, really? My anxiety spiked. It's like, did I spoil Altair's big project? My anxiety, like, literally spiked. It's like, oh shit, did I spoil Altair's project? Okay, cool. Yeah, we're starting a podcast, and it's like a classical podcast. It's not going to be streamed. For those of you that don't know, like, you're not like, a podcast is a pre-recorded talk show, and you're supposed to be able to download it off of like Apple Music or Spotify or like different platforms, and you can like download it onto your phone or whatever you have, and then listen to it while you're driving to work and stuff like that, or whether you're exercising. It's a very specific form of media, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize that, like, it's not supposed to be live streamed. Yeah. So we're doing like a classic podcast. It's not live streamed. So you're never, if it's, yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it just from streaming. So yeah. Anyways, okay, good. I thought I spoiled Altair's big oh my god, that would have freaked me out, because he's been working on really hard on it. But yeah, we need to record the first episode, and we're gonna do that today, and I'm excited for it. I need to put my all into it, but like, oh my god, I have like no fucking sleep, and I have only myself to blame. Let's be real, guys. There's no one to blame but myself, because I was like, hey, why don't I stream at 4 a.m? That would be funny. Ha ha ha. That'd be great, right? I didn't sleep because I stupidly decided to stream at 4 a.m. this morning. I just decided to do it because I thought it would be like funny. Yeah. Anyway, we're reviewing bicycles. It was a members only stream. I did a members only stream at 4 a.m. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We have limited time. I have to cut it at exactly 3 hours. So let's just jump into it. Beautiful bike. So some of the pictures are clearly taken by my people. Because it's not just about the bike, man. It's also about showing people where you went on the bike. And like, this is very much as much about the scenery as it is about the bike. This is a hell of a bike though. This is a 29-inch. This is a 29er. Full suspension. This is definitely like a high-end bicycle. I've actually, hold on, let me see if I can, I need to capture my, using up time, but I need to capture my cursor. Okay. Cursor. I'm gonna click on it, and then this thing is gonna switch. Okay. All right. There we go. So it's a 29-inch. It's a 29er mountain bike, which means it has 29-inch wheels. Basically 700C. For those of you that know, like 700C and 29, they're actually interchangeable. So if you have like really fat 27. 20, like if you have really skinny 29er tires, you can put them on 700C rims, and if you have really fat like 700C tires, you can put them on 29er. Like they're actually like more or less interchangeable. But it's a 29er, which is like currently like the meta for mountain bikes. There was like a brief period of 27.5 memery, but it's pretty much back to 29. It's a full suspension mountain bike, so it's got front and rear suspension. Disc brakes, that's standard. Everybody has disc. I think it's got a lockout on the front fork. I think it's got a lockout, which means like there's a little tab that you could press on the handlebars, and then the front suspension will go partially or fully rigid, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's a good bike. I give it a 10 out of 10. The scenery is really pretty too. I like the sepia tones. It's good. 10 out of 10. I like this bike. It's a good bike. Starting off strong. 10 out of 10. So apparently this is a bicycle that Avesti inherited from their grandfather. The other grandfather, not their grandpire, but, and they use it to commute. And you can tell. Batavia is a very, very like, it's a very old and venerated brand. I think this is a Batavia bike, right? Is it a Batavia? I think it's a Batavia. Yeah. New saddle because the old one got cracks from old age. Wooden planks so passengers can sit more comfortably. Okay. Front light got broken and fell out at the train station. Literally just a shell of its former self now. Interesting. It's a single-speed bicycle. I think that's a cotter crank, if I'm not mistaken. Man, cotter pin cranks are like... Pardon my French, but they're a pain in the ass to service. A cotter crank is just... Oh, man. No brake. If I had to guess, this is a coaster brake bicycle, which means like in order to brake, you pedal backward quickly. You pedal backward quickly, and then it'll. It's either that or it's a fixie. It's one of those two. It's either a coaster brake bicycle or it's a fixed brake. It's one of the two. Actually, let's look at it. Let's look at it and think about it. I don't think it's a coaster brake bicycle because of the frame. This is actually kind of a cool frame. I like it. Look at the lug work. You see my mouse? Do you see the mouse? Look at the lug work on the fork and the frame. I kind of like it. Big old quill stem just to make it super comfy to ride. Nice upright riding position. I give this bike a 10 out of 10. It's a good commuter bike. I like it. Zoom in. Okay, Zalis, I'm really sorry. I don't think I can do anything. To my setup except go forward and backward. I can't do anything except going forward and back. That's it. I can't do anything to it, okay? Because I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. The only way I could get it to work is by uploading the PowerPoint onto my Google Drive. And then, so this is a browser. What you're literally looking at right now is a browser, and I will not fuck with anything. I will not fuck with anything because I will not dox myself. I will not. It's not gonna happen. Is not gonna happen. This was like extremely ill-advised. Like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do anything with like a browser. That's not a really good idea. It's like, yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call, but I can't exactly upload 270 photos to my OBS. That would cause it to explode. I can't make the PowerPoint file itself upload into OBS. That had issues, so it's just like I'm kind of like out of options here, and it's just like, yeah, okay. So I cannot zoom in. I apologize. 31st birthday, yo! Congratulations, happy birthday. I hope you have a great birthday. I saw something about Final Fantasy 14. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, next. Well, I give this bicycle a 10 out of 10. This is like the grandfather of bicycle. This is a grandpa bicycle, which is like, come on, how can you not like that? But yeah, the cotter pin crank, just, it's still a 10 out of 10 bike. But like, if I was buying a used bicycle for somebody and I saw that the bicycle had a cotter pin crank, I would avoid that, because cotter pin cranks are extremely difficult to work with. The best way to describe it is like the crank is held, the crank arms are held into place on the crankshaft by a pin, like a solid pin of metal that gets hammered in, and it like holds it snug. And in order to like remove the crank, you have to take like a screwdriver and like hammer out the pin, and then the pin has permanently deformed, so you need to get a new pin that's like undeformed and hammer it back in when you need to, like, yeah. Is not great. Sky Limit Art, thank you very much for the super chat. What are you saying? I'm probably not going to be able to respond to them today. Honor the worm. Serve your worm army. Yeah. I made the Vesties like general members of my base. Okay. 10 out of 10. Thank you, Sky Limit Art. Much appreciated. And I'm sorry I couldn't lead you to victory. It was rough. Again. Oh, no, not again. This is not a full suspension mountain bike. This is a hardtail. It's called a hardtail because the rear triangle of the bicycle does not have suspension on it. It's a rigid rear suspension bicycle, which is nicknamed a hardtail, right? What are the benefits of a hardtail? One, they tend to be lighter than full suspension bicycles because suspension is heavy, right? So a hardtail tends to be a little bit lighter than a full suspension bicycle. Yeah, those might be pantsu. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that's not... Is it? I don't know. No, probably not. We're probably overthinking it. It's probably just cloth. Don't worry about it. I hope it's not. Probably not. Hopefully not. I'm going to ignore it from now on. Anyways, it's a hardtail mountain bike. Do I see anything? That I want to discuss? I don't think it's got a lockout fork. Actually, it might be a lockout fork, but it doesn't have a handlebar like controller for it. Like, you just have to reach down and lock out the fork manually, which is still pretty cool. Pretty cool. This might be like a pretty new bicycle. It doesn't have the water bottle cage. Do you see? Like the bosses where you're supposed to put on a water bottle cage, it doesn't have them. And it's like, what? Why not? Tires are like super clean. This might be a brand new bike, actually. Disc brakes. I mean, that's standard. Like, you're not gonna find cantilever or V brakes on a mountain bike unless it's like pre-2010. Maybe even like 90s, right? Running in the 90s. He's got the whole backpack in the back. I like that. It's got the rear rack. I like it. I gotta say, this might be like very close to what I would consider an ideal bikepacking bike if I ever bought one, which I might. It's been kind of a dream of mine to do the Great Divide, which is the Great Divide is the Rocky Mountains, both the Canadian Rockies and the American Rocky Mountains, and it's the divide of the continent. It's the mountain range, the one long mountain range that divides the entire North American continent. And the Great Divide is a bike trail, an off-road bike trail, so it's not on the road. So you have to bring a mountain bike. And it goes along the spine of North America. It just goes all the way down, and it's difficult. It's really hard because it's very high elevation. Yeah. Would you do north-south or south-north? I think I would do north-south. It's a little bit less. I think I would do, well, it depends on the time of the year, right? If I'm starting in the summer and it's gonna hit like the fall by the time I finish, then I want to start north and then head south. Now, if I'm starting in the winter or in the very early spring and it's heading into summer, then I would want to start from the south and then head north. It's all about the weather, right? Like you want to avoid like crap weather as much as you could. Yeah. But anyways, hardtail mountain bike, what I would consider the ideal bike packing setup. Marin, do you guys know Marin? Marin Bicycles? It's actually a good bicycle company, like very, very old school bicycle company. They've been around for a while. The name Marin is talking about Marin County in Northern California. A lot of the best mountain bikes came out of Northern California in around like 1989 to 1995. Like the best mountain biking companies in the world were all centered in like one little part of Northern California. And Marin is, I think it's referring to the roots in like Marin County. Yeah. Marin. I don't know. So that's the story behind the name. Okay, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Next bicycle. Another full squish, another full suspension mountain bike. So rear suspension here. Front suspension. Do I see the lockouts? Ooh, I like the custom grips. The custom grips are nice. It's another 29er. It's got a suspension seat post. You see that? The seat post itself has a little bit of give. There's like a little spring here, or it might be an air spring, whatever. And it kind of like, the seat kind of like has a little bit of suspension. So this is actually tri-suspension. It's got suspension in the front fork, suspension in the rear triangle, and it's got a little bit of suspension in the seat. It's like pretty good. It says 27. Oh, it's a 27. Interesting. Then that means this is. Now I deliberated on this, okay? I deliberated on this. I can kind of tell the height of a person by their bike that they ride. I can kind of tell the height of a person depending on the bike that they ride. Is it too creepy to mention? Is it too creepy to mention, like, I kind of understand, like, this person's kind of a smaller person. If this is a 27-inch bike, looking at the setup of their seat post, this is kind of a smaller person. Yeah. And you can tell by the size of the shape of the frame. Yeah. But this is like a 10 out of 10 bicycle. Like, the custom grips, I don't think these are the stock grips that came with it. Very nice. Very classy. And then you look at the orange cranks to match with the orange frame. Good stuff. Good stuff. Somebody who clearly like loves their bike and loves the aesthetic of their bicycle rides this bike. Regis, exactly. This is a good bike. Yeah, it's got the chain protector right there. It's got a chain protector to drop against chain drops. This is a 1X setup. Oh, this is a good bike. Actually, let me double check something. Aluminum frame. Okay, these are aluminum frame full suspension bicycles. Okay. You can tell because, I mean, like, you see the welding on it? You see the welding on the frame? If it was a carbon frame, like, it wouldn't look like that. And I don't think there are there steel full suspension mountain bikes? I don't actually know. I don't know. I don't know. 27er? 27? I like it. I give this bike a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10. I like it a lot. I think it's being ridden by someone that like clearly loves their bicycle and is like trying to kit it out in a way that it's accentuating everything about it. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Any other comments I want to make about this bike? I kind of want to research the actual reason why a 20, because I don't think it's just about like rider height. I think a 27.5 inch tire has like benefits for climbing. I think a 29er is better for descents, and I think a 27.5 inch tire is better for climbing. So if you're doing more climbing, it's better, I think. Or is it the other way around? Easier to flick around for stability? Yeah. So it's more for like, yeah. 27 is more twitchy. It's better for more technical stuff if you want to throw the bike around. Oh, okay. Because 26 is dead, I had to make a new standard. 29 has more traction for climbing. So 29ers are for climbing then. Although, do you want to climb on, okay, on a bigger wheel? Interesting. Interesting. See, now my inexperience is coming into play. I've actually never, yeah, I own a mountain bike, but I don't really have it in my, I own a mountain bike, but I don't have it in my possession right now, and I don't really ride mountain that much because I don't live in an area, yeah. Yeah. I would like to. I feel like if I moved out to my ideal area to live in, I would definitely have more uses for a mountain bike. I use a gravel bike right now. My main bike that I'm looking at, and this is my #1 bike that I love so much that I can't store it in a filthy garage. I can't store my #1 bike in a filthy... That's where my like #2 to #8 bikes go. My #2 to #8 bikes go in the filthy garage. My #1 bike is in my bedroom with me, propped up against my clothing rack. Any cyclists? Can you guys sympathize? Your #1 bike stays in your room with you, and if somebody tries to steal it, they can pry it from your cold dead fingers, and you probably have more than a few weapons to fight them off with, should they try to. Anyway, this bike, the white G160 RS, 10 out of 10. I can tell, like, it's owned by a bike lover that is just, yeah, like, it's the pedals, really, for me. Like, they got pedals that match the decals of their frame, and it's just like, it's love. That's what love is. It's like, ah, perfect. I like it. Next bike. It's a BMX. It's a BMX. I like BMX bikes. It's a trick bike. Do you guys know what a BMX is? Like, what it is? It's a trick bike. It's meant to, like, do, like, crazy tricks and stuff like that. And, like, you could pedal backwards on it because it's got, like, a, yeah. And this is, like, this is a one-piece crank. Holy shit. Look at the crank on this thing. Wow. I feel like even modern BMX bikes, they don't use one-piece cranks anymore, right? Like, modern BMX bikes use, like, standard cardless cranks, right? Seat's been torn to shreds. It's got like a Giga riser handlebar. Damn. Actually, no. It's supposed to have brakes. Look at it. They just removed it. The freaking mad lad. Look, It's got the cantilever bosses for brakes. It still has a V-brake flopping around. It still has a single V-brake arm like flopping around. It's got cantilever bosses for brakes. They just removed it. They're like, where we're going, we don't need brakes. Damn. This bike is ridden by a gangster. Holy shit. They just took the brakes off of it. Someone stole this. 10 out of 10. It's a filthy 10 out of 10, but it's a 10 out of 10. It's a filthy 10 out of 10, but it's still a 10. Who needs brakes? I do. Frankly, I do. I don't F around with like brakes. Like I obsessively check my brakes before every ride. Yeah. He's a 10, but he's filthy. Why brake, use foot? It's a 10 out of 10. This is just an incredible. It's like, why? Speed? It's having brakes arrow. You could have arrow brakes that are like recessed into the fork. They exist. 10 out of 10. I like it. Good bike. Oh, my heart. Listen, my number one bike, the one that I'm looking at right now that's in my room, it's a full carbon gravel bike, and it looks like a modern bicycle. It's got all the stylings of it, and it's got like carbon wheels. It's like a fast looking bike with the drop bars. But this style of bicycle is like where my heart belongs. Really? Like, it's got the fenders. It's got a front light. It's got a rear rack. It's got a triple crank. Oh, baby, a triple. It's got a triple crank. It's got a kickstand, which is like, kickstand. Kickstand. Like, a lot of bicyclists, like, kind of turn their noses up on a kickstand. I like a kickstand. I like a kickstand and a bell on my bicycle. I like it. It's useful. It's useful. This is like a touring ready bike. You could tour with this bike. And the front fork is made out of steel, and you can see that it's got fittings for a front rack. Oh, double rack, front and back all the way. What does it even mean? It's so good. I would tour on this bike. I would go on a bicycle tour on this bike, like right now. And I think that's an aluminum frame. I think the frame is aluminum, and then the fork is steel, which is like interesting. Interesting. I started off as like a 100% road racer style cyclist because of Yoopeda, and I was like, yeah, I like riding fast on like clean paved roads. I started off as like a road bike bro. A mammal, so to speak. And then I've kind of moved on to, in old age, being like a bicycle tourist kind of guy. So like this is kind of my jam right now. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. The full fenders are like a nice touch. It's got a chainstay protector. Oh, this is a good bike. Comfy looking saddle. Triple crank. I feel like the person that rides this bike is like medium height of average height. I think this is like an average height person riding this bike. Average. Good bike. 10 out of 10. Much love. So not Altare, gotcha. Please, no. Please. 10 out of 10. It doesn't matter whether it's like... It doesn't matter like what model or what year it's made. Anything that's Bianchi is like just an automatic 10 out of 10. You guys know Bianchi? Bianchi is like one of the oldest bicycle companies in the world. It's ancient. Da Vinci? It's not ancient. but it's like one of the oldest bicycle companies that are still in operation. Like, since it started to now, it never closed down and has always been kind of like doing its thing. Bianchi is like, oh, so good. And I believe that's Arakita's brand. Arakita from Yoapeda, he rides a Bianchi. Although, like, every brand in Yoapeda has been, like, slightly renamed. It's been slightly renamed so, like, they can't get, like, copyright. But if you look at the name, it's like, it's clearly a Bianchi. It's just, yeah. 10 out of 10. Things that I want to note about it. It's a fully rigid frame. It's a hybrid bicycle. Disc brakes, real nice. I like that. Definitely 700C tires. Cage pedals. Cage pedals. That's an interesting... I feel like very few people deal with cage pedals because mountain bike flats with the little pins, they've come a long way. They're like super grippy, right? It's got the cage pedals, which is like, all right, oh my god, pardon my French, but they're like a pain in the ass to use. The cage pedals are like a pain in the ass to use. They're just like, damn. And I get, like, going clipless is like, you have to buy special shoes and they're expensive and then the cleats wear out. But if you want to go with like normal pedals that like you don't clip into, that you don't like click into, the mountain bike flat pedal is like kind of a banger. I tried it out and it's like, this is grippy. There's no foot slip. I like it. I like it a lot. Like, instead of using a cage pedal like this, I think I would just go with like mountain bike flats with the little like pins that grip onto the rubber of your shoe. Yeah, clipless with clips, the naming conventions. Okay, so they're called like clip pedals because like these are clips. It's like a paper clip. Like you slide your shoe into it and it keeps it snug, like your foot is paper, and then this little thingy is like the little cage on it is like a paper clip. So that's the clip. And when they say clipless, they mean like no clip. No clip. Yeah. Anyways. Different strokes for different folks, but like, if the person that owns, it's a vestie that owns this bicycle was willing to like take some, I would be like, hey, why don't you try out the mountain bike flats? They're pretty good, you know? They're pretty good. I got scared when going downhill. Yeah. 10 out of 10 bike though. Damn, I love it. Really pretty location too, but let's focus on the bicycle. 10 out of 10. I believe it's a newer bicycle as well. Can I give my two reasoning for that? Like why I think it's a newer bicycle? The little wheel reflectors. It's still got the wheel reflector. I believe it's still got the plastic disc that protects the cassette. It's got a rear bike reflector. I feel like all of these come on a brand new bicycle. And then most people will just be like, I don't like that. And then they'll take it off. I feel like this is like a shiny new bicycle and I like it. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Oh, and it's got the Bianchi branded like bidon. They're called bidons. I don't know why they're called that. It's not called a bicycling water bottle or a water bottle. It's called a bidon. I don't know why it's called that. Same reason why like the tiny little bicycling cap with the tiny little brim, the bicycle cap with the tiny little brim, it's called like a chipoletta or something like that. Chipoletta? I forgot what it's called. It starts with the CH. Chipoletta? It's called a bidon. Yeah. I don't know why. Chipotle? The little hat. Chipoletta? Chipotle? Colnago? Anyway. 10 out of 10. I love Bianchi. I want a mamachari. Like, I want one. I'm gonna get one. I think maybe around like, because I'm so cheap. I usually go I usually splurge on new bicycle stuff around after Thanksgiving because there's like good sales after Thanksgiving, right? This time I might splurge on like the full bicycle instead of like new tires, new set of wheels, a new saddle. I might buy like a really expensive mamachari. I want a mamachari. Like I want one, and this is like basically what it is. It's got the basket in the front. It has to have a basket. Has to. It's got to be a step-through frame. Do you see this frame where like the top tube is more or less parallel to the down tube, and it makes it very easy to step over. It's called a step-through frame. It's not a mixed T. It's a step-through frame. I like it. It's got a protector for the chain. It's so good. It's got the rear rack. It's great. Less dangerous too. Yeah. You can put Axel in there in the front basket. I want to go like all out and get like an expensive mamachari with like with like so there's a group set that came out and then like it immediately got axed and it's like kind of hard to find now. Shimano released like a hybrid what is it called? Like a hybrid group set. The group set is called the Shimano Metro series. You guys ever hear about the Shimano Metro? It's not Dura-Ace. Dura-Ace is like the highest of the highest end road bike. Do you guys know about Shimano Metro? It's very hard to find. It's very hard to find. It came out for about like 3.5 to 4 years, and then like I think they axed it. Like you can't really buy it anymore. And so like I need to go out to eBay or something and find it. Yeah. I want a mamachari that has Shimano Metro group set. Yeah. It's mythical. Yeah. How much is that going to cost me? The Shimano Metro group set alone is probably going to cost me like 1,500. If I can get like a good mamachari frame, probably like 300 to 400, something like that. Yeah. Something like that. So it's going to be like, with the wheels and everything, it might be like a 2,500-ish. 2,500-ish. 1,500 USD. Yeah. Checks out if it's in good shape. Yeah. 10 out of 10 though. I'm like really into the mamachari aesthetic. I'm very much into the aesthetic of the mamachari, and like I want one. I want to add one to my collection. I like the color of the saddle too. It's good. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 would pick up moms with it. That's more of like Dez's thing, right? That's more of Dez's thing. Where he's like, we're picking you up after school. Don't walk home. Me and your mom are picking you up after school today. That's more of a Dez thing, right? No. A mamachari is not for picking up moms. A mamachari is if you are a mom. And I'm a grandpa, but can I go like full mom? I don't know. I'll have to try it out. Okay, 10 out of 10. Next. Oh. There we go. There's like a lot of shit I need to talk about here, right? What the What happened to the road? What happened to the road? This kind of reminds me of the Katy Trail. Have you guys ever heard of the Katy Trail? The Katy Trail is a mostly off-road bicycle trail in the great state of, I believe, Missouri. I think it's in Missouri. Whenever there's like heavy rains, like upwards of like 40% of the Katy Trail just disappears, and it looks like this. Is it Wisconsin? Oh, this is in Wisconsin. Okay, I'm talking about the Katy Trail though. And whenever there's like heavy rains, like upwards of 40 to 50% of the Katy Trail looks like this. It just disappears underwater. Is this moist? This is more than moist chaos. Being moist is the least of your worries in this situation. What's the super chat say? Kinos, thank you very much for the super chat. Sent this stream to my dad, a former pro cyclist. He's watching. Kinos Mama is the best teen out. No kidding. A pro cyclist? No shit. Cat? What cat? Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3? Maybe like a pro mountain biker? Pro cyclocrosser? There's no way it's like a former like Grand Tour pro, right? There's no way. No freaking way. No shot. Thank you. The Milkman, thank you very much for the super chat as well. Basically sodden, yeah. Okay, so back to the bike rating. I think this is an e-bike. Can somebody confirm? Whenever I see like a bolt, okay. I knew I was gonna have to phrase it this way, and people would like think that, oh, he's being sussy. Like, there's literally a bulge, right? Notice this bulge. Oh, whoa, what's this? That's how you know that it's an e-bike. If it's got a bulge, it's an e-bike. Shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. I'm talking about bicycles. Just... Notice his bulge? It's an e-bike, okay? It's got the full fenders, which I love. I'm a big fan of them. Kickstand. It's an e-bike. What's not to love? Big fat tires. Look how cushy these tires look. Damn. I want an e-bike as well. What if I get an e-bike mamachari? Like I smash the two into one, and then I just get like, because this is, I would call this an e-bike and not a mamachari, even though it's got the step over frame. It's got a step over frame, which makes it kind of like a mamachari, but not really. It's got no front basket. It's a little bit too sporty. A mamachari's goal is not to be sporty. A mamachari's goal is to go from your house to the grocery store. You lock it up outside the grocery store. You buy groceries. You put it into the basket, and then you drive back. It's mostly like paved road only, and this is like more like mixed terrain. It's a mixed terrain e-bike, so it's not really a mamachari, but it could be based on like the shape of the frame. So it's like nebulous. Like you don't really know. But anyway, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. A little bit worried about the trail that you chose to bike on, but we're just going to leave that. We're just going to leave it. 10 out of 10. Beautiful bicycle. I love it. I love it. Next. This is a CAD 8. I would date it around 2008, 2009. I would date it somewhere between 2007 and 2010. CAD 8, which is an aluminum frame, carbon fork road bicycle by Cannondale, which is a venerable brand. I believe it's one of the big four, right? Specialized, Trek, Giant, Cannondale, right? Is that the big four? That's the big four, right? Special is definitely the biggest, and then Giant. Giant is also the biggest, but in like the manufacturer way. And then Trek is Trek, and then Cannondale, right? It's got the Sora 8-speed shifters, 2x8. I like the mismatching bottle cages. That's like That's like a I don't give a rat's hoo-ha what you think. Yeah? My bottle cages don't match. What of it? What does the super chat say? Umu-san, thank you very much for the super chat. Heads up about e-bikes. A battery replacement can set you back 1 or 2K for most small bikes, 5K for the big batteries. Yeah, I actually know that. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. That darn skag. Thank you very much for the super chat. Vesper would date a bike confirmed. I mean, yeah. 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 I like the jersey, the matching jersey and helmet. Look, like the jersey, this is a bicycle jersey. You see the, all right, so this is the back of the jersey, not the front. It's got back pockets. Kind of cool, huh? So in order to like, you store like your cell phone and maybe like a Cliff Bar and some energy gels and like, I don't know, maybe like your repair kit if you don't have like a seat, like this doesn't have a seat pack for like repair tools. So you put your repair kit in the back pocket. Why no front pockets? It's because when you're on a road bike, the position on the bicycle that your body is in, you're like kind of bent over, right? And you want to be like, you don't want pockets hanging down. Yeah, you want the pockets to be like snug on the back, and then it'll prevent them from like falling out of your pocket. Yeah. Is good. It's good. It has pockets in the back. It's like the lower back. Like I was gonna say, like where a tramp stamp would go. Where a tramp stamp would go, that's where the back pockets on a bicycle jersey would be placed. It's around like that area. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Anyways, the jersey and the helmet match the frame of the bicycle, which I love. 10 out of 10. Why would you make that connection? I don't know. I know by the shape of these shifters that these are Sora shifters, 2x8. I know it's 2x8. You could get 3x8 or 2x8 Sora shifters. This had like a really interesting thing. This was like, to my knowledge, there's only 2 Shimano shifters that do not have the paddle shifters, like on the inside. They don't have paddle shifters. They have like a thumb trigger on the inside. Kind of like Campagnolo. Campagnolo shifters have the thumb shifter on the inside and the paddle shifter on the out. And Shimano, for tourney and for Sora shifters, older Sora, the newer Sora shifters like have the paddles. Like they just didn't have it. And it's like, why not? And then Shimano was like, reasons. Just for reasons. So like the old school Sora shifters definitely had that. Yeah. I like it. I like the color. The CAD series, like, all right, so Cannondale as a company. Cannondale, first of all, Cannondale makes banger carbon bicycles. Like the Super 6 series, Cannondale makes good carbon bicycles, but as a company way back in like the late 80s, early 90s, Cannondale like became a thing because they made the best aluminum frames. Like they became a thing because they pioneered welded aluminum frames. And so like the CAD is kind of like the culmination of like what, 2 decades of research into getting aluminum frames just perfect. Is really good. The CAD series, I think we're up to 12. Are we beyond the 12? The last time I was into buying bicycles brand new, we were up to CAD 12. Are we up to the 13? Are we up to CAD 13? We're up to CAD 13. Okay. The last time I was into buying a brand new bicycle, I was like checking out the new CAD series and the CAD 12. I think the CAD 12 is current. Is it 12 or 13? I can't tell. They just keep adding to it. Yeah. 10 out of 10. I like this bicycle. It's also got the stock wheels, I believe. These are stock wheels. Yeah. How do you feel about Dutch bikes? I like them. I'm thinking about getting one. Oh, man. A folder, too. This is a Brompton, which is like... like folder bike royalty. Bromptons are like crazy expensive and they're like really well made. Bromptons are like 2K bicycles. Wouldn't surprise me if this model of Brompton was like $2,000 to buy. Bromptons are like one of the best. What the hell is that thing? It's a folding bicycle. You fold it right here. Do you see this? You see this part right here? This part right here? The frame actually like unlatches and it folds in half. It's got the tiny little wheels. Yeah. Are you a folding Vesper? I'm not. I'm not, unfortunately. In episode 1 of Eurocamp, the main character rides a folding bike up a mountain, which is like pretty cool. And then there's another bicycling anime. What is it called again? It's called Long Riders. Yeah. There's another bicycling anime called Long Riders, and the main character buys a folding bike for her first bike. And it's kind of cool. And those two anime made me want to buy a folding bike. They made me want to buy a folding bike. Lime52, thank you very much for the super chat. Does your bike know that you're asking other people for bike pics? Okay, can you guys give me like 1 minute? I'm gonna move my number 1 bike out of my bedroom. Give me a second. Give me a second. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Should I tell you the name of my number 1 bike? That's kind of a personal thing. I don't really tell just anybody the name of my number 1 bike. That's not something that I do on, like... Should I? Tell the members only? It has a name. You gotta name your bike. You gotta name it. Don't tell us if you don't want to. Spill the beans. Alright, I'll just tell you. She's out of the bedroom anyways right now. Alright, I'll give you a clue. And it's a clue where, like, if you know it, you just know it. It's a clue where, like, if you just know it, and you could probably Google it as well, right? You could probably Google it. The name of my bicycle is the name of Julius Caesar's murderer's wife. The name of my bicycle is Julius Caesar's murderer's wife. Not Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar's murderer's wife. Let's go. You guys got it. I'm not going to say which one is correct, but you got it. I see it. Okay, we're moving on. I know that Julius Caesar had many murderers. I know that. The most famous one, okay? How about that? The most famous one. That was bizarrely specific. Okay, back to it. This Brompton has folding freaking pedals that kills me every time. You guys notice this right here? It's got folding pedals. I love the concept of a folding pedal. It's so cool. It's so cool. Look at the pedals. They fold in so that it's easier to like. So you don't need to, because the thing is, like, you fold the bike so that it's more compact, right? But then the pedals are sticking out at odd angles, and it's just like, man, it just makes. So why not just have like a pedal where, like, you can pull a latch and then fold it flat against the crank arm? Yeah. Does it lock in place? It does. there's like a very sturdy tab where like it locks in place and then you have to pull the tab, and it's like you have to use a fair amount of like hand force to pull the tab, and then you can like fold it flat. What are the wheels on the back for? They're levers, I think. I actually don't know for certain, but I think it's for like storing the bicycle. It's for storing it, I think. Like you could fold it and then like it's just kind of like on those things, I think. Are folding bikes heavy? Yeah, they tend to be pretty heavy. They tend to be pretty heavy, and because the wheels are so small, you can't really get a lot of speed on them. They're not really bicycles built for speed. They're just really, yeah, you can roll it like luggage. Yeah, super cool. That bike is a magnificent shaft. Bromptons are not cheap, and for good reason, because it's pretty much like top end for like folding brands. And I don't think I'll ever get a Brompton, but like I'm pretty jealous of people that have one. It's like pretty cool. It's got a single speed front, and it's got, actually I think this is a single speed. I think this is a fully single speed bicycle. It's got a, like, because it doesn't have I don't think this is a derailleur. I think that's like a chain tensioner. I think it's got a chain tensioner and like no rear derailleur. Maybe not. It's got the cables. It's got the cables. What do you guys think? It's a 6-speed? Oh, it's an internally geared hub? Oh, okay. Edge of Divinity, which type of brakes do you rock? For my number one bike, hydraulic disc. My number one bike has got hydraulic disc. The brand is they're SRAM Force hydraulic disc brakes. Most of my bicycles are running rim brakes. Most of them run rim brakes. Yeah. This Brompton gets a 10 out of 10. I like the color too. It's nice. This is a good bike. 10 out of 10. Canty gang. Damn. Cantilever brakes are like rough. You have like, you're an extremely brave person if you run cantilever brakes and not replace them with V brakes, because V brakes are like, they just stop better. The cantilever brakes are like super scary. They scare the crap out of me. Yeah, 10 out of 10. They're all good bikes, Bront. Okay, next. I like it. I like this bike. It's got no brakes. It's got a chain guard. It's a single speed. I like the handlebars. This is Sparta. It's a Sparta basic pickup. I like it. It's got a double top tube. It's got a double top tube for whatever reason. Does it make it sturdier? I don't think so. I think it's purely like for aesthetic reasons. It's got two top tubes. It like beat up and it stole the top tube from another bicycle, and it's just like, I have two. I have two top tubes now. Double top tube is hot. Yeah, it's good. It's got the chain locked up around right here. Quill stem. Each top tube gets a 5. Each top tube gets a 5. So it's a 10 out of 10. It's a 5x2 out of 10. It's a 5x2 out of 10. This thing scares me. The headlamp looking a little sad. You know what it is? You know what it is, dude? It's not looking to blind people coming the other way. You want to angle your light down onto the street, maybe about 10 feet ahead of you. You want to angle it down about 10 feet ahead of you, and then people will be able to see the light, but they won't be blinded by it. Yeah. Now, it's a little bit too low, because instead of it being 10 feet ahead of you, it's kind of like looking at the freaking wheel. Which is... Yeah. Fire duck. This bike is the embodiment of Axel. Kind of. I like it. It's 2x5 out of 10. 2x5 out of 10. Good stuff. Admire the wheel. I like it. I'm not really into coaster brakes though. Not really into coaster brakes. They kind of scare me. Next bike. This is a steel bicycle, right? It's a steel hardtail, right? This is a steel mountain bike. Am I correct? That's a steel frame with the suspension fork. That is a really cool beach. I have to agree. I like it. I like this bike. It's not a kickstand. It's a piece of driftwood. It's a piece of driftwood that you could prop up against a crank to make it stand. Yeah. It's a honeymoon photo. Smash or pass? Absolutely smash. Absolutely. Let's talk about what I like about it. One, it's made out of steel, and steel is real. I'm like 80% certain that the frame of this bicycle is made out of steel, which is like, I love to see it. I like it a lot. My gut says that, like, this has to be like a custom frame. Hydraulic saddle tube. Yeah, this is a suspension seat post. This is a nice bike. I'm pretty sure it's a custom stem. Custom threadless stem to like match the coloring on the bike. It's got nice matching colors. I like it. It's got the flats. It's not a clipless pedal. It's a flat pedal. Mountain bike flat. Oh, Niner. Yeah. I'm kind of into that. I kind of like that steel mountain bikes are kind of coming back into fashion, and a lot of like the bigger manufacturers are starting to make them. 29ers life, man. It's good stuff. Oh, beautiful bike. 10 out of 10. The location is cool. I find it irrelevant to the topic of bicycles, but I think, yeah, it's a pretty scenery. It's nice. But let's focus on the bicycle, everybody. That's the most important part. That's the most beautiful. What's the most beautiful part of this bicycle? There's only one answer. I mean, what's the most beautiful part of this picture? This entire picture? Like, what's the most beautiful part of it? There's only one answer. There's only one correct answer. It's the bicycle. You forgot about the bike. It's always about the bike. No, not the scenery. It's the bike. Ten out of 10. This is also a triple crank. I think. 1, 2, possibly 3. I think that's a triple. That's interesting. Vesties that are into mountain bikes, when was the last time you saw a new mountain bike with a triple crank? The current meta is like single speed front. The current meta is like every mountain bike from like an entry level. Is it a double? What's the outer level then? What's the outer? Is that like some kind of crazy ass chain guard? There's like 1, 2 for sure. There's the crank. Oh shit, what is it called? There's the chain ring that the chain is on. There's a smaller chain ring on the outside, and there's like an outer. What's the outer? It looks plastic. Oof. Plastic guard. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. A bash guard. Oh, it's a bash guard. Okay. Mine is a 3x6. 1x12. Might be a chain guard. Looks like a chain guard. Well, I know what a chain guard is. I don't think that's what... I think it's a bash guard. Yeah. Wait, the rear cassette is tiny as fuck. It's still a 10 out of 10. I like it. I like it a lot. Ten out of 10. It's a fast boy. It's fun. I know nothing about the stuff, but it's fun. I've got a Kona and it's a 2-cog front with the bash guard. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, okay. Speak of the devil. And he will appear. It's a Kona. This is like an old style, like, rear triangle suspension. You very rarely see this style of rear suspension anymore. Wow. I'm not really that knowledgeable about mountain bikes. Any mountain bikers, can you tell me like when this style of rear suspension, this rear triangle, like when was it like a thing? I don't know. That's not the way that it looks like now, for sure. Mid 2000s, 2017, under 2010, mid 2000s, mid early 2000s. Yeah, interesting. So this is a bike that's like I was gonna make a joke, but I'm not going to. Yeah, it's a bike that's like approaching 20 years old, right? It's an older bike, but you can tell that it's still been like really, really well taken care of, right? Any Vesties that really like the bike, can you tell that like for a bike that's approaching 20 years old, like, and despite it being like dirty as hell because like it's clearly being ridden like the way that a mountain bike should be, it's clearly been really like well taken care of, right? This bike is living its best life. Yeah. Oh, super chat. Cats, thank you for the super chat. I don't know what's going on, to be honest. I just like listen to Vesper talk about things that excite him, like mountain bikes and learning new things. This stream fills both. Thank you for blessing our ears with knowledge. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Gonna be honest, this is like a self-indulgent stream. I knew that it would be a very, very busy week this week. And I was like, I'm gonna add a stream for me. I'm gonna add a me stream. And it's just, same super chat. It's the exact same one. Oh, you guys are saying same, yeah. Yeah. Usually I kind of like... I focus a lot on entertainment per minute. EPM. The metric that I go in my head is entertainment units per minute. And it's like you want to maintain at least 0.5 EPM. You want to maintain at least 0.5 EPM, entertainment per minute. But I'm kind of like, this is a stream where it's just like, sorry guys, I'm just gonna look at bicycles. That's just what I do to feel good. Yeah. Anyways, this Kona bike is approaching 20 years old, and I can tell that it's been very, very well taken care of, well maintained. These disc brakes look like pretty new. And it's got disc brakes. What the heck? Hold on a second. Did they have disc brakes in early 2000s? Did they? To my knowledge, like 2002, 2003, 2004, most mountain bikes were still running like V-brakes, right? I think V-brakes were like standard on a mountain bike until around like 2007, 2008, something like that. And that was only like the highest of the high-end mountain bikes. In like 2008, we're running disc brakes. Yeah, yeah. I like it. I like it. I'm guessing this thing right here. I'm guessing this thing right here is like a custom attachment that allows you to mount a disc brake onto it. I'm guessing, right? This does not look standard. Whatever the F is going on here in this rear dropout, whatever the F is going on in this rear dropout, like it doesn't look standard. Bruh, dude, man, thank you very much for the Akasupa. You do you, boo. We're just chilling. I appreciate that. Thank you. Arnolfo Mendez, thank you very much for the super chat. Hearing others talk about their passions? Yeah, yeah. Olrar, thank you for the super chat. EPM sounds like those blargy movie scientist metrics. You can't do that. The EPM won't go that high. It just can't be done. Damn it! I said max the valves. I'm in charge here. Watch me do it with the bike stream. Because I've been working on a cycler character for a story, watching the scholar for references and knowledge. Oh, interesting, Wacky Warrior. Interesting, interesting. Ah, okay, I'll do my best. This is like a bike with the story behind it. I could probably have at least a 2-hour chat with the owner of this bicycle, just listening to them talk about like the stuff that they've like swapped out, the custom changes that they made. I'm almost certain that this was not a disc bike when it started life, but I'm not sure. I might be completely wrong. They might be like, no, Vesper, actually it was a disc bike standard. But I don't know. I don't know. Check the cable routing. Oh, okay. This is the brake. This is the derailleur cable routing. This is the derailleur cable routing, and this is the brake cable routing. So I guess you're right. I guess it was disc. It was a disc standard. That's like kind of interesting. Huh. You wouldn't change nothing on this bike? What would I change? Can't think of anything. Nothing? Yeah. Yeah, the bars look a little bit narrow for a mountain bike. Mountain bike's got like the big chunky, like wide bars, right? They're like wide bars. Skull and spikes. I like the top stem. It looks very new. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good bike. 10 out of 10. Wouldn't change anything. Are those hydraulic disc brakes or just normal disc brakes? Let me look at it. They look like hydraulic, but I can't be sure. They look hydraulic, but I can't be sure. Holy shit, look at the shifters on this thing. It's got thumb shifters. God damn. Anyways, we're gonna move on. It's mechanical? Oh, they're mechanical. Okay. We're gonna move on to the next one. Source my guts. Oh, man. Cube is a German brand. Am I correct? Can somebody confirm? This is a Cube bicycle, and I believe Cube is a German brand. It's German, right? Why do the freaking Germans make such beautiful bicycles? This is what the Aeroad looks like. This is what a Canyon Aeroad kind of looks like. It's got the integrated stem. It's got like an aerodynamic like spacer set up right here. It's got like it looks very similar to an Aeroad. Why did the freaking Germans make such beautiful looking bicycles? Looks like a freaking spaceship, dude. Oh. Okay. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. This is definitely a disc. This is definitely a hydraulic disc brake bicycle. And I can tell by the shape of the shifters. You see the shifters right here? So first of all, this is SRAM Force ETAP. This is SRAM Force ETAP, a wireless group set. A wireless group set. You can tell by the batteries on the front and rear derailleur. There is no cabling for the shifting. It's completely wireless shifting. There's no cables at all, right? So this is SRAM Force ETAP. Looks like a 2x11 probably, or whatever. Maybe 2x12. I don't know. But you could tell what type of brakes they are, whether they're cable or because it's either going to be cable or hydraulic, nothing in between. This is definitely hydraulic, and I can tell by the shape of the shifters, right? You see the little, like, oh, I mean, like, I can't show you until I show you, like, what the cable shifting, the cable brakes look like, but this is definitely hydraulic. That bulge, the bulge of the shifter right here, like, you see my mouse? You see the mouse? The bulge of the shifter right here? It's definitely hydraulic. Hydraulic disc. Missing shark fin. Thank you very much for the super chat. Need a bike with lights powered by a rim power generator. I know what you're talking about. And I can do you one better. There are bicycles that have a dynamo in the front hub. It's not a rim power generator. The hub itself, which is like this part right here of the wheel, like the part of the wheel that's like where all the spokes go into, that's called the hub. The hub has a dynamo, which is like super freaking cool. Yeah. It's expensive, but it's like really worth it, and it's like super cool. Arisario, thank you very much for the super chat. I don't even cycle, and I would date that bike without hesitation. Right? Right? It's got the Aero wheels on it. Oh, man. It's got an Aero seat post. Ah. It's got the Conti GP 5000 tires. Ah. What a beauty. What a beauty. 10 out of 10. Thank God I wasn't the only one noticing the bulge. Oh, I noticed the bulge. I noticed it. Look how long this stem is. Oh my God. This guy, like... Whoever rides this bike actually goes fast. I can tell. Is my number one bike getting jealous? Can I be real? Yeah. Yeah. My number one bike doesn't have electronic wireless shifting. It has cable actuated shifting. My number one bike uses SRAM Force 1, which is cable actuated 1x12 shifting. Cable actuated 1x12. Or is it 1x11? I'll have to go check. I think it might be 1x11, but it might be 1x12. It's cable actuated. And this is electronic wireless. Oh, my bike has a bulge, but it's like a chunky bulge. I don't know how to describe it. It's not this type of like sexy round bulge. It's like a chunky, like it's like a chunky squarish rectangular bulge. Yeah. Please don't say bulge. Why not? Why not? Why not? Okay, we're gonna move on. Chat is getting weird. You guys are getting a little weird. G-lighting my own chat. Okay, 10 out of 10, right? Can we agree? This is a beautiful cube bike. It's an Aero frame. It's got through axle wheels, which I love. I'm kind of in love with through axles. Like, I'm kind of done with the quick release. Like, quick release is just like, ah. Through axles are nice, man. It's good stuff. We're getting weird. Is it moist? I don't know about the bike, but anyways, we're gonna move on. Tune in for Vesper's next stream where he desperately tries to repair his relationship with his number one bike. A through axle. Yeah, let's talk about axles on bicycles, right? So you're gonna find two main types of axles on a bicycle, right? And an axle is the little piece of metal that goes in between the hub of the wheel and the frame of the bicycle. So it's like there's like a hole right here in the fork, and there's a hole right here at the rear dropout, the rear triangle. And the thing that goes through it and holds, it basically pins the wheel to the bicycle. There's two types. There's two types of like axle that does that, right? You got the through axle, which like you basically screw into the frame. The frame itself has like threaded threads on in the frame and the fork, and you screw the through axle like into it, and then it latches into place. And the other one is called a quick release, right? Quick release. So you do the same thing. You shove like a piece of metal through it, and then you screw like a cap into place, and then there's like a lever. There's like a lever mechanism which is called the quick release lever, and that's how you like pin the wheel onto the bike. All right, we're moving on because chat is getting weird. It's a cube bike. It's a 10 out of 10. I love aero bikes. I love this. I love the stem. I love the spacers. I love the aero positioning of the it's just good. It's a good bike. Oh, salsa. And there's a Surly in the back. Oh man, this is good stuff right here. And there's like another bike here. It's a fat bike. Oh, there's so much good stuff in this. Look at the fat bike with the gravel, like wide flare, like cow chipper bars. It's got the cow chipper bars. It's a fat bike with cow chipper bars. This is good stuff right there. I like that. It's got the Salsa full suspension mountain bike, front and rear, 1X probably 12, 1X12 drivetrain. Good stuff. Damn. This is like a stacked garage. Is that a... What is that in the back? I don't think that's a circular saw. I don't know what that is, but like I like that. Whatever that tool is, I like it. There's another wheel. There's a wheel here. Rate the garage. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. This bike is a 10 out of 10. This bike is a 10 out of 10. This bike is a 10 out of 10. There's another bicycle here somewhere. There's a handlebar here. And then there's a wheel here. Looks like a bench grinder. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, it's definitely, yeah. Some kind of tool. Your bike senses are tingling. Yeah. Minx, thank you very much for the super chat. Chat is getting weird. Moving on to new slide. Hey man, I just like bikes. Okay. Can I point out one thing? This bike is undeniably a 10 out of 10, right? But it's a dirty 10. It's a dirty 10. And it's not because of like any dirt on it. There's no dirt. It's pretty clean. Can I tell you why I give this a dirty 10 out of 10? Can I tell you why I give it a dirty 10? You gotta cut that. You gotta cut the fork, man. You gotta cut the fork. If you're gonna slam the stem and get that low, you gotta cut that excess up there, man. You gotta cut it. You gotta cut the fork. You gotta cut the steering tube. I think it's called the steering tube, not the fork. You gotta cut the steering tube, man. You see that? Brother, you got a beautiful bike. You got a beautiful bike right here. Yeah, it's a chest buster right there. You got a chest buster right there. Like, slam the stem, cut it. You'll put your eye out. It's a dirty 10. It gets like an immaculate clean 10. If that steering tube gets cut and it's like nice and flush against the The stem. Hey, Vespa, bike has an owner. The sternum smasher. Isn't that what the grinder's for? No, Arch Telos. I'm not gonna repeat that. I love it though. I love it. You know what? I'm gonna repeat it because I don't care. Like, it's already too late. I'm already too far gone. Bigger. Longer. Uncut. No, but please, seriously, like, if you're a cyclist, you gotta cut the steering tube. Please, like, if you're a cyclist, you gotta cut the steering tube. Especially if you're gonna slam it. Like, you can't just like change up the spacers and just be like, yep, my job here is done. It's like, no, either leave it at the top, and there's no shame in not slamming a stem. I mean, my gravel bike is slammed, but like most of my other stuff. I'll read that. Kit, thank you very much for the super chat. For a beginner trying to get into road cycling, is there an affordable brand or model that you can recommend? Okay, if you have to get it new, I think there's a brand in Europe called Decathlon. Decathlon, like, has pretty decent stuff in Europe. I'm not sure where you're from. If you're from the States here, State Bicycle, you can't go wrong with them. State has, like, good stuff. REI Co-op has really good stuff. Trek is expensive. Like, there are affordable Trek bicycles, but if you want a road bike, like a road bike, the cheapest Trek is like 1,200, 1,300. 1,200, 1,300. Yeah. And I'm talking about like under $1,000 is like a brand new beginner bike. I don't think the cheap, yeah. Here in the States, you can't really go wrong with State Bicycle Company. They're really good. REI has good stuff. Yeah. Am I allowed to talk about... Maybe I shouldn't be talking about brands. I just completely forgot what I can and can't talk about because it's just like... My caveman, like, lizard brain comes out when I'm talking about bicycles, and it's just like, I don't give a crap. Bonk me. Okay, moving on. Fire Duck. Thank you for the super chat. I hate to ask it, but I know he won't read. Do we have we confirmed everyone in Tempest can ride a bike? I believe so, yes. Yes. Mood Lamp, thank you for the super chat. Swell merch idea. Vesper Noir sticker decals specifically for bike vesties to add to their bike. I kind of like that. And it could just be like a normal sticker, right? Alright, so like a bike sticker decal is different from a normal sticker in like one way. It's weatherproof. The materials of the sticker are designed to be weatherproof because like they're assuming that you're going to be riding the bike in the rain, possibly storing it outside. So like a bike decal sticker is like, it's got like super glue for the adhesive. It's like literally super glue. And then the graphic part is like not paper and it's not plastic. It's like vinyl. Yeah. It's like, yeah. Okay. Ferric, thank you very much for the super chat. When you went across the country and got sold expired candy by a serial killer, were you riding Porsche or did you go on that journey with another bike? Yeah, I went on that bike with my touring bike. I went vinyl. Okay, fine. Vinyl. It's fine. Listen, I don't talk to people. Okay? I don't talk to people. I'm like Megamind. Do you guys ever watch Megamind? The reason why he mispronounces every word is because he's a maladjusted outcast and he didn't grow up talking to people. Therefore, most of the vocabulary that he learned is through words and he doesn't know how to pronounce things because he's just a little guy. He's just like me for real. I don't know how to pronounce things. I'm not doing it to troll people. Metrocity. Metrocity. I will take over Metrocity. Okay, going back to it. I went on that bike journey on my dedicated touring bike, And my dedicated touring bike's name is Valkyrie. I name my touring bicycle Valkyrie after my favorite JoJo character's horse. My favorite JoJo's character's horse is named Valkyrie. Yeah. Also, it's just a banger name. Valkyrie just sounds fucking cool, right? It just sounds really cool. Okay. Back on topic. The salsa, 10 out of 10. The chest buster, I would highly recommend. I mean, like, that's kind of scary, man. It's a little scary. 10 out of 10, though. Dirty 10. Is this the same? Is this the same? Is this the same garage? Artists, can you do a lighting check? Artists, can you do a lighting check? Is this the same garage? Is this the same garage? Maybe? There's no way? Lighting check? It looks the same? Same lighting? The floor looks the same? There's a lot to unpack here. So let's just go at it like one by one. That's a Cervelo S3. Wonderful bicycle. It's Cervelo's like aero line, right? Cervelo has like S and R. S is typically their aero bike, and then R is their like super lightweight bike. Trinelli is like nice. Oh man, lots of Italian heritage there. Cervelo is Canadian, by the way. That's a Canadian brand. We got Canadian brand. Salsa. Another salsa. Is this a Warbird? I think this might be a Warbird, but I can't tell for sure. It's got the bar end shifters, the Barcons. Good stuff. Wafflestein, thank you very much for the super chat. These are my parents' bikes, and yes, they're in the same garage. Wafflestein, can I ask you a question? I would like to be adopted into your family. YN? I would like to be adopted into your family. We could be brothers. What do you think? The question is yes or no. What do you think? Would that be something that you're interested in? Possibly your parents, you could run it through them. That's not a question. Brother zoned. Okay, so I want to point out something. I want to point out the thing that caught my eye the most, okay? Is this bike right here. Do you see this one? This unassuming metallic painted one in the back? Wafflestein, can you confirm? Is that a titanium bicycle? Is this a titanium frame bicycle right here? I've never owned a titanium frame before. And it's like on my like grail list, my holy grail of like bicycle collection list. I've always wanted to try out a titanium bicycle. Like I've always wanted to try it. Interesting. There's just too many cool bicycles. There's just too many of them. God damn. The Trinelli, man. With the aero wheel. Like the aero deep section wheels. God damn. This is a carbon frame too. This one right here. Do you see the Trinelli up front? This thing right here? This is a full carbon frame. This is a carbon frame bicycle for sure. This is aluminum. This is carbon. The S3, the Cervelo S3 is carbon. Is this an Allied? An Allied bicycle? I think. What's the pink one right here? This might be a Warbird as well. Might be a Salsa Warbird. Because notice it's got the flared out, it's got like the cow chipper, like gravel style handlebars. It makes me think that it might be like a Salsa Warbird or something like that. Which is like Salsa's gravel bike. Damn. This is like a Googleplex out of 10. No, Fireholder. You're being too conservative. Fireholder, you're being way too conservative. This is not 100 out of 10. This is like a Googleplex out of 10. Can somebody type out a Googleplex in number form with all the zeros in chat? It's like a Googleplex out of 10. Googleplex out of 10. If I had a garage, if I had a garage big enough to do this, I would. And then I would just collect bicycles. I would just like collect a gajillion of them. Beautiful. Beautiful. Googleplex out of 10. We gotta move on. We gotta move on. Okay, we're moving on. We're moving on. Now, this is an interesting bicycle. What the heck? It's got cantilever bosses on the front fork. The fork has cantilever bosses and it's got a disc brake. It's got a disc brake in the rear with no cantilever bosses on the frame. So it's like, what is this? What is it? It's the fork that's confusing me the most. Is this a stock fork? This is the fork that the bike came with? Is this a stock fork that the bike came with? Why would they spec the bicycle if it came stock with the fork where it's got the cantilever bosses and the disc brake stuff? Like, is there an idea for that? Is there an idea behind that? It's a workhorse? Oh, okay. Common cheap bike built here in the Philippines. Workhorse though. Don't get me wrong. I actually like the bike. I like it a lot. I'm just really confused because it's like Maso frame, Maso fork. So I'm guessing it's not an aftermarket fork. I'm guessing like it came like this. Like this is like the stock pairing of frame and fork. And it's like, why does the fork have like, it clearly has flat mounts for disc brakes, and then it also has cantilever bosses, and it's like, why? My father got one, but it's an MTB type if I remember correctly. Mystery bike. I'm kind of interested in like, cause an engineer designed this bicycle to be sold like this. Looks like it's mostly stock, and it's like, why would the engineer opt to have a front fork that has both types of brake mounts? And I'm just kind of curious. Saves on parts when somebody buys the discs instead. Okay. But then how come the rear fork doesn't also have both? Because it doesn't look like it's got the mounting. The rear brake doesn't have the mounting options for like a cantilever brakes, right? But if that's the case, I get it. I like the idea of it like being like a one size fits all frame, and you can do like either or. But if that's the case, how come the frame doesn't have the same like options? I think they're there. Are they? Where? Are they there? Are there racks that mount off a canty post? I don't think they should. Like I wouldn't trust. Removable canty bosses. I like that then. Okay, I like that a lot. You know what? I'm into it. I'm into it. If both the frame and the fork have double mounting options, it's just like mounting options for cantilever brakes or disc brakes, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. This is definitely like a very like functional bike where like you could just buy the frame and get it up and running with anything that you need. I like that a lot. 10 out of 10. Because if you know your grandpa, Vesper Noir, the thing that I love the most is functionality. I love it when something is functionally dead. I like it when bikes are functional. I like functional bodybuilding, functional weightlifting, weightlifting for functional strength, right? It's probably done to mass produce one frame and one fork and spec it to different tiers. I like that. It's good. This is functional out of 10, which I give it 10 out of 10. There's one thing that I want to point out, though. There's one thing that I want to point out, okay? There's one thing that I want to point out. This mudguard here, I'm going to be honest with you. I've tried using clip-on mudguards. They don't really work. They don't really do anything. They catch less than like 30% of like grime and dirt and water that comes up. You need the full fenders to get like anything. Yeah, like you need the full fenders. Like I've tried the clip-ons before because they're really convenient, and you can take them off when the weather is nice. And I definitely understand why you bought it, but coming from someone that also bought not only clip-ons for the rear but clip-ons for the front, like they don't work. You need like full fenders. You need full mudguards like to actually get the benefit. No, Ragnarok. It's not that it flaps around too much. It's that it literally does nothing. It doesn't keep any water or grime or dirt off your body. It does like nothing. It catches less than 30%. I would say like if it catches 25% of the stuff that your tires are kicking up, you're lucky. Like it's like it might even be under 25% of the gunk that gets like kicked up by your tires. Yeah, it's too thin and it's too high up. It needs to be like less than an inch away from the tire to catch it. Cause the gunk that's being kicked up by the tire, imagine it being like a shotgun, right? Like as the gunk pellets like spread out, it starts to spread out more and more, and like you need like an Xbox huge like fender to catch it at that distance. At that distance from the tire, you're gonna need it to be like maybe 7-8 inches wide to catch it. Yeah. But this bike, this Maso, is a 10 out of 10. I like it. It's a functional 10 out of 10. And I'm going to be honest, I kind of like rigid bicycles. I like the rigid fork. I like the rigid frame. It's simple. There's like less stuff on it that can break. It's lighter. It's good. Just look at the tangent of the edge of the wheel. It's where you want it to protect you. You want it to be guard when the line intersects you. Exactly. Girthden. You're one of my people. You are also a fender Chad. Pretty much all of my bikes, except my fast bike, my number one bike, they have fenders, just because I like them. I like them. Okay. Next. Oh. That is a beautiful bike. It's a hardtail. It's a hardtail. Looks like a 29er. I would guess it's a 29er. It's got the Schwalbe tires. Probably stock. The red grips. I don't know if that's stock. Usually the grips are black. That's a pretty bike. Can anybody tell me what brand it is? I can't tell what brand it is. This is a carbon frame. This is definitely a carbon frame hardtail, right? Can I get a confirmation from other bike chads in chat? This is a carbon frame hardtail mountain bike, but I don't know what brand it is. Hydration check. Thank you. But what brand is it? Could be a Ghost. Oh, Ghost. Yeah, Ghost is a good brand. See, the logo is like right here, but I can't read it because the quality of the. I apologize for roasting the vestie that took the picture. It's a little bit blurry, so I can't tell what brand your bicycle is. But like, I'm into your bike. It is like an instant 10 out of 10. It's a carbon frame, hardtail mountain bike. I can't tell what the crank is. Get rotated. 10 out of 10. Bontrager Pro Cage, very nice. Yeah, yeah. Enhance. Is it a special? I don't think it's a special. I don't think so. Is it? I can't tell. Yeah, the room kind of scares me. I'm getting kind of like Silent Hill vibes from the room. I'm getting kind of like Silent Hill vibes. And then like the alarm goes off and then Pyramid Head is like trying to jump me. But then I've got the bike, right? I've got the bike and I can just bike away from Pyramid Head. Get donked on, Pyramid Head. And then I look behind me, like I'm like bicycling away from Pyramid Head and I'm like really full of myself. I'm like, oh, I got away from Pyramid Head. And then I look behind and then like Team Sky is like drafting Pyramid Head. It's like all of Team Sky and then at the very back it's Pyramid Head on a bicycle and they're drafting him towards me. It's like, oh shit. Okay, I might be dead. And like Pyramid Head's head is so big that they need to 2-man draft. Like it's like teams of 2. It's like 2-2-2, and they're doing like side by side, and then Pyramid Head is in the very back, and they've got like the nice little bubble for him to like, yeah. Taste of speed, Pyramid Head. But yeah, 10 out of 10. I really wish I knew what brand it is because like I want to rep it. Like this is a beautiful looking bike. It's like extremely aesthetic. Did you guys notice this is, I think, the first high-end mountain bike that we've seen that does not have a suspension dropper seat post? It doesn't have a suspension. It's not a suspension / dropper seat post. So it's just like the stock seat post. This guy, whoever is riding this bike is like a technician. They know what the F they're doing. They're like, I don't need a freaking suspension seat post. Get me in there. If they're putting like 30% of their body weight, if they're putting 20% of their body weight on the saddle and they hit a rock, they're flying off this bike. They're just like completely flying off this bike. If they put like 30% of their body weight on the saddle and they hit like a wicked like rock or a root, they're flying completely off. Their technique has to be like flawless on this bike. There has to be less than 5% weight on their saddle. Like everything is in the springiness of their like knees and like they're like, yeah. This bike is gonna yeet the F out of the rider if they're not like top tier. If they don't know what the hell they're doing, like they're gonna get yeeted really hard. This is truly a mountain bike built for speed and nothing else. 10 out of 10. Another good one. Another good one. Okay, first of all, 10 out of 10. First of all, 10 out of 10. Second of all, Envy wheels. Do you know how much these wheels cost? These are like $3,000 wheels. The wheels alone. Like they come in a box and it's just these 2 wheels and then maybe the skewers. These wheels alone are $3,000. Forget about the full. This is a carbon frame. Forget about the full carbon frame. Forget about the Ultegra. This is a hydraulic disc Ultegra. Look at the bulge. Do you see the bulge? You notice the bulge? This is hydraulic Ultegra. That's like around like 2K. Around 2K, right? Carbon frame, about like 2 to 3K. This is like a probably around like $7,000. What the heck did a wheel do to cost $1,500? Okay. This is what a wheel does to be worth that much, okay? When you're hanging out with another road cyclist, and your bicycle has envies, there is an 80 to 85% chance they're going to say, in this exact tone, they're going to be like, damn, envies. Or damn, nice envies. Like, that's just what they're going to say. Is just the first thing that you notice. Also, do I get to rep the brand? Envy is a brand that I believe operates out of Utah. I think they operate out of Utah. And I believe back when I was cycling, like they layered their carbon in-house, right? I think like most of their wheels are like made in the US, which is why they're so expensive. They might have changed, but like back when I was into cycling, like that was their thing. It was just like really, really good quality wheels. This is good stuff. They spent 3K on the wheels, but they have carpet on the walls. Here's the thing. Is this the same? What the f... It's the same person. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? This one is Pyramid Head's bike. I'm running away from Pyramid Head on this bike. And then Pyramid Head is chasing me on this bike. More like Arrowhead. Yeah. What if like Pyramid Head, when he's like bicycling, like he turns his Pyramid Head around and it looks like the shape of an arrow bicycle helmet. You know, like the arrow helmets that are like teardrop shaped? Like when Pyramid Head, it's like when Ash Ketchum is about to like battle, when Ash from Pokemon is like serious, he turns his cap backwards. You remember that from the anime? When Ash is like, oh shit's going down, like he turns his cap backwards, right? That's like Pyramid Head. When Pyramid Head is about to like just drop a fool, like from the back of the ride. He's about to drop a fool, like in a sprint. He like turns his Pyramid Head backwards and it turns into an arrow helmet. Biking around it. Oh, I can't do that. I can't sing that. She knows it. You almost got me into singing something that would get me DMCA'd. Pyramid Head, more like Arrowhead. Exactly, Tachibana. Exactly. Unbound Soul, thank you very much. Vesper lunch tip fund, don't be late. We got an hour. We got an hour. It's fine. It's fine. Bro. What the hell? Envies? Damn. I'm jealous. Like, this is like... This bike is definitely nicer than my number one bike. This bike is definitely better than my number one bike. Damn. That's a pretty bike. I am envious. It's good. 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10. Like a clean 10 out of 10. That's a beauty. Next. I like the color. Again, with the clip-on fender. Unfortunately, they don't do much. This is like a Generation 1 full suspension bicycle. Generation 1. This bike, I think, is like late 90s. Like mid-late 90s. I think late 90s. Because it's got the front suspension fork. It's got the wonky rear suspension that this type, if I recall, doesn't really actually do much. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, it doesn't even have quick release. It's got like bolt-on fenders. I mean, it's got bolt-on wheels. Vesper underwear green. Not gonna lie, I'm just gonna tell it to you straight. This is definitely like a cheaper road bike. This is definitely like a cheaper mountain bike, not a road bike. It's definitely like a more like, I wouldn't even call it like entry level. It's like a cheap bike. It is, right? It's a cheaper bike. There's like no way around it. Ten out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Listen. I'm going to give you my reasonings for it being 10 out of 10, okay? I'm going to give you my reasonings. I would bet you $100. I bet you $100 if I like could teleport myself to this bike and I could kick up that kickstand and I could take this bike for a 10-minute ride, it would make me feel better. Like I'm pretty happy right now. I'm having a good time. I'm a little stressed because I've got like time crunch today. I'm a little stressed. I'll be honest with you. I'm a little stressed today. I'm still in a very good mood because I love what I do now, but I'm a little stressed because we got a lot of stuff to do today. And if I could teleport to this bicycle and take a 10-minute bicycle ride, it would make me feel much more relaxed and comfortable. That's why I give it a 10 out of 10. And trust me when I say that there are bicycles that I look at it and it's like, I could ride that and I would fear for my safety. Then that's less than a 10 out of 10. But I would ride this and I would feel relatively safe riding it. Might not go very fast. Might not be very maneuverable or anything like that. But like, I could ride it around in a circle for 10 minutes and then come out happier. It does look very well cared for, yeah. A 10 out of 10. I give it a 10 out of 10. It's got it's not a threadless stem either. This is a quill stem. This is a threaded stem. Threaded stem? Yeah, threaded. Threaded fork. 1-inch threaded headset. 1-inch threaded headset, and then it's a quill stem. Yeah. Threaded headset, not a threaded stem. That doesn't make any sense. It's a 1-inch threaded headset and then a quill stem. Yeah. Okay. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I like it. I like it. Can I point out something? Can I point out something really cool? This is an aluminum Trek road bike. I would source it like 2000. 2010 to 2013, 2014, 2010 to 2014, something around there. It's like early 2010s, right? I want to say one thing about Trek that makes me think that Trek is like one of the best bicycle companies. One of my favorites for sure. So when a big bicycle company is making the new line of bicycles to release for the year, right? And they're putting on like the parts. They're putting on the wheels, they're speccing the group set, the drivetrain, the shifters, everything like that. They have to find places to cut corners, typically. And that's to get the price down. And then when you look at the model lineups, it's like Trek's Sora road bicycle, Specialized Sora road bicycle, Cannondale's Sora road bicycle. Like when you line them up next to each other, if one is $50 cheaper, like a lot of people would just go like, well, I'm just gonna go for the one that's $50 cheaper. So there's like an arms race to like shave off a little bit of money here and there, right? And unfortunately, like the quickest way to shave off like $100 off of the group set is right here. This little mother clucker right here. This thing right here. The crankset. They typically don't use a Shimano crankset, and then they put in something like FSA, which by the way, FSA is like a perfectly like, they're good. They're not bad. Like FSA is a really good brand. They make good bicycling components, but if I have to be like really, really real with you, Shimano is just Shimano, right? It's Shimano, like. So typically a lot of bike companies they'll get the shifters Shimano, they'll get the derailleurs Shimano, and then the first place they'll cut is the crankset and make it FSA. And then if they're getting really really cost effective, they'll change the brakes and also make those like Tektro. I think typically like they change it to Tektro brakes. But I'm really liking the fact that Trek went Sora shifters, Sora derailleurs, Sora crankset. I like it. It's good. Also, the person that rides this bike is probably like 6'4". The person that rides this bike is probably 6'4", or maybe even taller. This is incredible. Yeah, this is definitely Olga Senpai's bike. If it was like green and black, if we can get it in like green and black, it would be like Olga Senpai's bike. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I think of the big four, Trek might be my favorite. Trek is good. Giant is good too. They're all good. They're all good. Honestly, they're all good. Midosuji. No. Midosuji's the opposite. Midosuji rides a tiny little bike and he's got like a 25-inch custom stem, right? Midosuji rides a tiny little like DeRosa that he rode when he was a kid, and it's got like a 25-inch stem. I wanted to build one of those. 10 out of 10. Next bike. I have never heard of this brand. So when I took this off of Twitter and I uploaded it, like I had never heard of this brand before. It's like, what is this brand? Pole. Can somebody tell me more about it? Pole. I love running into bicycles that I don't know anything about. I like it. It's fun. It's cool. They're a Finnish brand. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. What jumps out at me, aside from not knowing what brand it is, look at the sheer level of wackiness of the water bottle brace-ons on the down tube. What the hell is even going on down here on the down tube? these little like lumps and bumps right here. These are water bottle these are water bottle cage braze-ons. So you screw on a water bottle cage onto them, right? Like, what is going on here? What the hell is even that? Yeah, like putting aside like the really interesting suspension is just like, what? Like, this is not even the normal suspension. Like, this is not even the normal spacing. There is no water bottle cage that'll hold like this. Like, what is this? What is this? What is this front one right here? What is it? Options, my dude. Enduro bike. Cable guides for a dropper post, maybe? Oh, okay. A sword. A sword? Like a machete? Probably for a battery. Internal cable? I don't think that's a cable thing. I honestly don't think so. Might be cable guides for external routing? Okay. Maybe. It's a cable thing? Oh, okay. If that's like, if people can confirm, like, it's definitely for cabling? Okay. Interesting. I can predict that this bike is a 10 out of 10 and the next one is also a 10 out of 10. How did you know? How did you know? It's cable guys. They got pics of it on their website. Oh, interesting. Wait, so are none of these like actually for water bottle cages? They're not. None of these are actually water bottle cages? Am I correct? Carl Zhao 314, thank you very much for the super chat. Pole pioneered some of the longest, lowest, and slackest geometry in mountain bike scene today, and apparently they ride super fast and well. Yo, cool. Interesting. Okay. So this was my initial response to this bicycle. That one, this is not a cheap bicycle. It's definitely not cheap. This is an expensive bicycle. And I've never seen anything like it. And I didn't think it was an old bicycle either. Actually, it might be old if you're looking at it, because it doesn't have through axles. It has quick release, which is kind of like interesting. Okay. And these are not flat mount, right? These are post mount disc brakes, which is like, they're pretty, I think pretty much everything is now flat mount. They're not post mount anymore. And it's got like, so it's does it have through axles? Does it? Why does it have the quick release tab then? Why does it have a quick release tab if it's a through axle? It's like 3k euro. I see 10k euro. Damn, that's a lot of money. Everything about this is just confusing me. Everything about this bike is just confusing me. Those are through axles? Interesting. So all of the through axles that I've used are like completely flush and flat. I've never seen a through axle that has like the quick release tab. It's interesting. Is that a mountain bike thing? Like mountain bike through axles have the tab. They have the quick release tab. 3,000 USD bike stock. Damn. Kellogg's PP, thank you very much for the super chat. That was my Trek. The original crank was not Sora. It was upgraded after 5 years. Also replaced the 2X 11 to 26 crankset with an 11 by 34 mountain bike for better ratios when climbing. Yes, I'm 6'3". I fucking called it. I knew you were like gigantic. And you replaced the crank? Based. Based. So it's a modification. I like it. So this bike, I learned something. I learned about like an interesting brand where they do like non industry standard orthodox geometry, and it makes it into a better bike, which I like. I like that a lot. I really like it when bike brands do like weird stuff instead of just copying what like everybody else does. It's good. I like it. Okay. Next. 10 out of 10, by the way. This is a really nice bike. I like it. I would ride it. First of all, 10 out of 10 First of all, 10 out of 10. Second of all, I just like folding bikes, man. And it's got like a really cool like basket, a rear like rack basket thing. I like it. It's got a bunch of cool stickers on it. That ain't a bike, it's a graphics card. It's a GeForce RTX 3090 Ti. RGB bike. Yeah, it's got the wheels. Yeah. I like it. It's like, all right, let's level with it. Like, definitely 10 out of 10. It's definitely a 10 out of 10. This thing could definitely run Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. It's the stickers for me. It's the stickers that do it for me. It's making me a little like emotional because it's like when you look at something and you know that it's really, really loved, well loved, it's kind of like, oh, that's nice, right? I have a family member who is a child of another family member. Very, very dear to my heart. I love the little tater tot. They have a little bunny. They have a little stuffed bunny toy. It's named Bun Bun, and it's basically hairless. Like, it's basically hairless. Cause like, they hold the thing so much you could see little like finger, it's like all the hair is being pulled out, and they refuse to get a new one. And I kind of get the same feeling from this bike that I do from Bun Bun, right? It's just like a well-loved object. And it's making me emo. Yeah. Are those folding pedals? I think those are folding pedals too. They're pedals that fold in. I think. Because the mechanism in the spindle, that's not like standard. I think that's a folding pedal as well. So when you fold this bike up for transportation, you can fold in the pedals. You don't need to unscrew them. It's good. This is like a really good bike. 10 out of 10. I also like, I'm guessing that's the matching helmet that you're supposed to ride when you're riding the G-Force. Like, you're not allowed to saddle up on the G-Force without the matching pink helmet, right? You're just not allowed to. Wafflestein says, I have gotten confirmation that the silver bike that you have asked about is in fact a titanium bike. Let's go. Titanium perms granted. I do want to try out a titanium bike. For those of you that don't know, what makes a titanium bike awesome, right? It's lighter than steel, but a little bit heavier than aluminum. It's like in between. But the thing that makes titanium lovers love the titanium frame bicycle is that supposedly like the characteristic of it, like the way that it bends underneath you is like good. Yeah, like the whippiness. It's like a whippy, flexy bike, and it's like very comfortable. And it's like a very mysterious way to describe it. It's lighter than steel, but it's just as like compliant and whippy and bendy. It's kind of this. It's difficult to describe. It like flexes, like the material like flexes as you're like pedaling, and it's that characteristic is similar to steel, but it's lighter than steel. So it's just like it's a very mysterious way to describe it, and I want to try it out. Okay. This bike is like clearly 10 out of 10, and it made me a little emotional because it's like clearly a well-loved bike, and it's got its shit together. It knows what it's about. This bike is not trying to ride the Tour de France, right? It's just is trying to get its owner from point A to point B in style, and is there to do it the right way. Yeah. 10 out of 10. Oh, Willier. It's an Italian bike. I got a weakness for Italian bikes. This is an older one too. This is an older Willier. This is This is 10-speed Ultegra 6700, right? This is Ultegra 6700 group set. Ultegra shifters, Ultegra crank, Ultegra derailleurs. This is Ultegra 6700, which is a 10-speed 10x11 group set. That is not a compact crank. That's like a 5238 or some shit like that, 5239, something like that. That's a crank set. These are chain rings that'll put hair on your chest. Damn. That's like a full ass like crank set. Like I've never seen like a full set like that. It's pretty much completely shifted over to compact. Almost every road bike that you'll buy nowadays, like off the shelf, is going to be compact, which is 50-34. 50 big, 34 small, which is like the standard compact. And it's just like, it's better for beginners. Or even like intermediates. Like you only want like a Giga Chad crank set like this if like... If you crank it. Yeah. Look at that tiny little cassette too. Not only is the front crank set, the front chainrings like gigantic, the rear cassette chainrings, the rear cassette is like freaking tiny. That looks like a, what is that, like an 1126? That looks like an 1126. This guy's a freaking sprinter. Whoever rides this bike is like definitely a sprinter. No. It's not a 1x8. It's a 2x10. I would bet the farm that this is a 2x10 because I know what group set this is. Like this is what I'm like really familiar with. Okay. One other thing that I want to point out. Do you see the shininess of the shifter hood covers? Like these are like rubber shifter hood covers, right? Hood covers, that's what they're called. Do you see the shininess of it? Do you see how it's like really shiny looking? The mother clucking Vesti that rides this Willier, Izoard XP. They've probably ridden this bike maybe like over 10,000 miles. Maybe like close to like 20,000 kilometers. Like they've ridden this bike a lot. It's not like this person probably rides their bike every day, or like at least five or maybe even 6 times a week, and then they just like crank it like all the time. Just the way that the hoods are like worn down. The way that the hoods are worn down, the way that the bike is geared, like everything tells me that like this person's like hardcore. Like basically, all right. So if I'm like riding my bike and I'm taking a hydration break. And the Giga Chad that owns this bike like rolls up, stops, and then also takes a hydration break and and like does like a friendly like, how's it going? What's up? Nice day for a ride. They give it like friendly, they give like a friendly like bicycle, like, you know, what's up, right? I would look at the bike and be like, oh, this guy definitely thinks I'm a poser. Do you ever feel like that? Do you ever feel like sometimes like there's something that you like and that you feel that you're good at, and then like some like Giga Chad that does the same thing that you do like rides into your presence and you're like, oh, they definitely think I'm a poser. Oh, they definitely think I'm like a poser. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna say. That's like the judgment that I'm making about the person that owns this bike. they're like a 1,000 mile a week Giga Chad. 1,000 miles a week Giga Chad, and then like if they rolled up to me, they would definitely think I'm a poser. And like I do about, I mean, after I started like HOLOSTARS activities, it dropped to around like 250 a week. At my best, at my like absolute top of my game, aside from on bicycle tour, I was doing about 500 miles a week. Yeah. Like right now I might be pushing like 250 if I'm lucky. This guy's like insane. There's something wrong with this person. God damn. 10 out of 10 though. Willier is really good. 250 is not that much. It's not that much. Shut up. 250 is 50 miles a day, 5 days a week. 250 is about like 50 miles a day, 5 days a week. So you get 2 full days off, and then yeah, it's just not. Actually, it might be under that. I might be like 200 now, because I'm not even doing it like 5 days a week. Yeah, I'm probably like down to 3 or 4 days a week. Yeah, 50. How fast do you bike? Depends, but I think my average speed is around like 23 to 25, depending on like how fast I'm cranking it. I can hit like 22, 23 average. Yeah. But that's on like my fast bike, not on my touring bike. Oh yeah, I ride on the road. I'm not off-road. Like I ride on the street. Not even like on the sidewalk, like I run in the road. Like where the cars go. Yeah. That's not professional. Come on. It's not. It's not. Yeah, 15-ish is commuting, and then 20 would be like if you're on a road bike and you're like geared up, like you've got the jersey, and then like if you're pretty experienced, you can get a little bit higher than 20, 22, 23, and then I think you just top out at 22, 23. Oh, I don't go solo. Are you crazy? Are you fucking crazy? I don't fucking go solo. Are you stupid? No. I ride in a bunch. Yeah. No, I ride in a bunch. Are you crazy? You guys think I ride 23 miles an hour solo? What the freak? No. Nobody that rides like a lot, like you have to have a group. Yeah. I keep forgetting that like most of the Vesties don't really ride bikes, right? Yeah. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting. No, you can't. I wish I could show you like an anime. Like the key to road riding, the thing that makes road riding different from like every other discipline of bicycling, the thing that makes road riding different, right, is drafting, riding in a bunch. Because if you're not riding in a bunch, then it's kind of like, then what's the point of getting like a fast road bike, right? If you're riding solo, I would rather, like at best, I would get like a gravel bike. Like a road bike like this with skinny tires, like you should not be riding it solo. Like you should definitely get like 2 or 3 buddies. I'd say minimum 2. Minimum 2, but ideally 3, and then you ride in a bunch, and then you take turns. It's designed to be ridden in a bunch. Does that make sense? Like a full-on road bike is not designed to be ridden alone. That's not the reason why you would ride a bike like this. Yeah. Why? Okay. So wind resistance is like the #1 reason. It's like the #1, like, it's not weight. It's not like a bunch of other stuff like that. It's like, it's wind resistance. It's like air resistance is like what makes it difficult for you to ride a bike. And when you ride in a bunch and one guy's up front, they can ride really hard. Like they can crank it at like 22 miles an hour. And then when they get tired, they get to the back of the pack, and then like they can just like coast. It's like, I can't even describe how much easier it is. Like when you're in the back of a bunch and you're riding at 22, 23 miles an hour and you're at the back, it's like you're pedaling as hard as if you're riding like 15, 16 miles an hour. It's almost like you're at like commuting speed. Yeah. I'd say minimum 3. You can't really sustain 2. 2 is better than nothing, but you want at least 3. 3 people can do that. And then I have 2 buddies that I don't really talk to them about anything else. Like they definitely don't know I'm doing this. They definitely don't know that I'm doing this. And they know that I quit my shitty job, which is good. But yeah. One of them I've been riding with for 4 years now. 4.5, 5 years now. One of them I've been riding with for about 4.5. The other one's like relatively new. He started about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. One of them I've been riding with for almost 5 years. And I just realized this year that he's married. we speak so little, just like off the wall. Like we're like at a cafe and he's drinking a coffee and he's like, oh yeah, so my wife like went home to visit her family or whatever. And I was like, bro, you have a wife? And he's like, yeah. What's my like solo speed? Let me think. Okay, so when I'm on my gravel bike, but a gravel bike is not a road bike. Like a gravel bike is not meant to be ridden fast, right? When I'm riding solo on my gravel bike, I probably go about like 16, 17. I think around like 16, 17, 17-ish. Something like that. But the problem is that the gravel bike has like big old fatty tires, and it's not really meant to be ridden on the road quickly. Yeah, miles per hour. Like 16, 17 miles per hour. And I think that's about right for solo riding. That's about right. I'm telling you, man, you should try to ride in a bunch. It's pretty great. It's pretty awesome. Have you ever gotten into a bike accident? Yes, I've gotten run over 3 times. I've gotten run over 3 times. Yeah. It's fine. I got better. Don't worry about it. Okay, we're moving on. This Willier, definitely ridden by a Giga Chad. 10 out of 10. Okay. Ooh. I like. In my experience, whatever doesn't kill you only makes you stranger. Isekai into Tempest. Oh, come on. It's not... Don't be dramatic. I only messed up my bike once. Like, I tacoed the wheel, and the frame was aluminum. It was an aluminum frame bicycle, and it got a crack. And if aluminum has a crack in it, it's not safe to ride. You have to throw away the frame. You have to throw away the whole frame. I've only had one accident where, like, I actually damaged the bike. Yeah. So the other times you only messed up yourself? Yeah, who gives a shit? You can scrape up your elbows and stuff. You scrape up the palm. Yeah, one time I scraped up the palm of my hand really badly because I used my hand to break my fall, and I was going pretty fast, and I scraped up like pretty much my entire palm. But like, that's whatever. And I had the glove. I have bicycling gloves on, so it's just whatever. It's fine. The issue is that like drivers just, I think like I'm pretty sure all 3 times the driver was like checking their cell phone, right? Because if you're like driving your car and then you check your cell phone, you'll like drift into the bicycle lane or the side, and then you'll just bump a dude off the road. It just happens. It just happens. Yeah. And then if I'm talking about like the 20 to 22 mile an hour average, You can't do that on like a service street where there's stoplights. You have to do that in a very... Anyways, we're gonna move on. Like, I don't want to talk anything else about where I bike. It's getting a little too uncomfy. I don't want to talk about like where I bike. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Let's just say, like, if there's too many stoplights, like, that's not... Because you're just constantly speeding up and slowing down, speeding up and slowing down. Like, in order to maintain that, like, you have to be in a situation where you can ride for 20, 30 miles without, like, anything. And then you can just maintain that speed. Because, like, the gaining momentum takes too much energy. The road bicycling mindset is all about efficiency. Like, just be as efficient as possible and use as little energy as you can to get up to that speed that you need to get. And it requires, like, at least 2 other people with you that know how to draft. Like, you have to get, like, really close. You have to, like... Basically, if they fart, you definitely smell it immediately. That's how close you have to be. Yeah, like, that's the phrase. Like, when you're road biking, you can... Yeah. 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 Okay, we're moving on. A Trek 8 series. Nice, I like it. It's a full suspension mountain bike with an aluminum frame. I would consider this, my gut says this is like an entry-level full suspension aluminum bike. Am I correct? It's probably less than $2,000. I think like $1,600. Am I like way off the mark? I think it's definitely a good bike. It's definitely like a really, really good one. 1.5K is entry level. Yeah, it kind of is, unfortunately. Yeah, you're off the mark. That boy's got Fox shocks. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Full suspension is expensive. Let me check it out. Trek 8 series. I don't know that much about mountain bikes, actually, so... Wow, it's actually way more expensive. Holy shit. Wait, no, these are carbon. No, these are all carbon. Vesties, lend me your ears. This is not a carbon. This is not carbon, right? This is aluminum frame. How much does an aluminum frame full suspension bike cost? I think 3 to 5K is for carbon. It's a sausage. It has the weld, yeah. What's an aluminum frame mountain bike? Full suspension, a lot. 1.8. Yeah, I think like 1.5, 1.8. 1.5K just the frame for an aluminum? You're shitting me. Really? Really? Hold on a second. $2K-ish? Yeah, maybe 2K. Okay, interesting. I guess my like full sus do be expensive. 20 minutes until 3 hours. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call it soon. I don't know anything about mountain bikes. I believe this one was 3K. Damn, man. For aluminum too. Holy crap. A lot. A lot. I don't know if I'm going to do a part 2, honestly. My alloy full squish, the GRX 2000, was 3,500 pounds in 2017. Damn, that's a lot. Whew. You mountain bikers are like a different breed. Holy crap. Carbon doesn't flex? Well, neither does aluminum, right? Actually... I would argue that aluminum probably flexes less than carbon. Carbon you can engineer to make it a little bit more flexy when you need it. Yeah, right? part 2 in 3 months. Part 2 would be nice. Okay, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Okay. 10 out of 10. This bike has taught me that I don't know jack shit about how much mountain bikes cost. I know nothing. Literally nothing. I do like the little, like... What's going on there? There's something going on there that I don't understand. Technically, steel as a material is way stiffer than aluminum. Construction matters as much as material. It's true, yeah. Well... Steel has, like, higher elasticity than aluminum, right? It's like an elasticity issue. Carbon is stiffer than aluminum. I do archery too. Carbon versus aluminum arrows can be a huge debate. Yeah, I mean, like, you can engineer a carbon layering to be stiffer than aluminum. But you can also engineer carbon to be, yeah. Like, carbon, like, changes depending on the way that you lay it, right? Also depends on the alloy too, I guess, but... What I know for sure is that you can weld a steel frame back together and it'll work perfectly fine, but you can't re-weld an aluminum frame. You just can't. It's not safe to re-weld like a broken aluminum frame back together and then ride it because of reasons or whatever. Like, yeah, no weld, braze only, micro cracking. Yeah. Anyway. Moving on. 10 out of 10. I learned a lot about how insanely expensive mountain bikes are. Which shouldn't surprise me at all because I'm a bicyclist and I know that bikes are incredibly overpowered. I like it. I like it. This is like a bike that I think everybody should have in their repertoire. It's like the bug out bike, right? It's the workhorse. Yeah, it's not meant to turn heads. In fact, like if it turned heads, it would not be doing its job because then it would just be like, oh, now it's a target for theft. It's just a good bike. I like it. It's clean. It's well maintained. It's got a D-lock, which, by the way, don't use chain locks if you're locking up a bike because most chain locks can be broken with like a heavy rock. If you have like a 4-pound rock, you could probably break any chain lock just by hitting it enough. Definitely use a D lock. Definitely use a D. What the hell is this spammer doing? Goodbye. Most U-locks can be easily too, less than 2 minutes. Yeah, but the thing is, like, the D-lock, if you want to break it in 2 minutes, you need, like an angle grinder, right? Like, you need tools to break a D-lock in 2 minutes. You can't use, like, a rock or a crowbar to... Well, I mean, if it's a really cheap D-lock, you could use the double wrench method. You can pick a D-lock, yeah. Bro, you guys are being weird now. You guys are being contrarian. What I'm saying is that, like... Oh, come on. All right. I'm going to level with you. I kind of feel like Lockpicking Lawyer has made everyone into thinking that, like, every thief out there is equally as skilled as the Lockpicking Lawyer. Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? No. That's not the case. Do you think the average bicycle thief is, like, even 1/1,000,000th as skilled as the Lockpicking Lawyer? Come on. That's not a good reason for not using a D-lock. Come on. Come on. Now you guys are just hitting that logical extreme where it's just like, why do I even bother? Why do I even bother? He's a level 100 rogue. D-locks are good. D-locks are good. This is just a good bike. I have one of the, not this exact model, but I have a bike that's very similar to this. It's a hybrid suspension, like front hardtail, front suspension. Actually, is this a rear suspension bike? No. No, this is a hardtail. And like it's like really torn up there's like scratches all over it, and it's just like, it doesn't look like it's in very good condition, but I keep it in really, really good riding condition. I replace like everything that needs to be replaced. And then I could ride that to a supermarket and lock it up and leave. And my brain is just like, I don't need to worry about it at all. Yeah. It's just good to have like a workhorse that you don't need to worry about. And I think a mamachari, the mamachari that I want, is not going to be that, because I'm going to spend so much on it and it's going to look so pretty that like I'm not going to feel comfortable locking it up outside the supermarket, and I'll just end up using my workhorse anyways. So what even is the point of getting a mamachari, right? What even is the point? Yeah. I rescued it from a trash container? Yeah. 10 out of 10. I like it. It's a good bike. I like it. What the fuck? What? What is this? Why is it shaped like that? Do you see this? What? What is this? Like, why is it shaped like this? What is this? Mountain bikers. This is a hardtail mountain bike. Mountain bikers, can you tell me like what is going on? Why does it look like it's been like stitched together? Like this weld right here. Like, what is it? It looks like a gusset. It looks like do you remember the earlier Bontrager bikes? Bontrager had like these weird like welded gussets at the bottom of his tubes. It kind of reminds me of that. External butting, bracing. Is it like there for a reason? It's not aerodynamics. Shut up. It's not for aerodynamics. Can somebody that's like actually an expert with mountain bikes tell me like what are these like gussets that are like welded onto the external tubing? It can't be aesthetics. I don't think it looks good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the bestie that owns this bike. I'm so sorry. It's definitely like a functional thing, okay? And you know me, I'm all about function. No. I like it. I just want to know like what functional reason is there for it. It's a 10 out of 10. And I'm hoping that it's a functional 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10. Shut up, you guys. It's a 10 out of 10. I just want somebody that's an expert with, like, mountain biking to tell me, like, why would they do this? Extra durability? Is it? So what's the use case for this bicycle? Because I know there's definitely like, there's different types of mountain biking disciplines. There's XC, which is cross country. There's downhill. There's, what's the other type? Enduro. There's enduro, XC, downhill. What is this for? It's a trail hardtail. Yeah, trail bike. Yeah. When the bicycle is cheap, the only thing left is to improve the visual. Is downhill easier? No, downhill is like crazy. Downhill biking is the one where like you'll just die. Downhill is the one. This is an XC. This is a cross-country bicycle. Okay. Okay. Can you give, all right, so people that are experts at mountain biking, can you give me like your honest opinion? Your honest opinion. People only, please do not respond unless you consider yourself an expert at mountain biking. Is this like frame type? Is it functional or is it mostly just like marketing? Is it functional or is it mostly marketing? I'm like kind of interested in it, and it's just like, it makes it look metal. Mostly marketing, honestly marketing. It's for the cool. Ah, that's a shame. I kind of don't like it. It's just for looks. It's kind of just, dang it. You know what? It's still a 10 out of 10. It's still a 10 out of 10. Those plates significantly reinforced the head tube against forces that would never lever against the fork. They were in style mid-2000s. Yeah, I mean, like, the first time I ever saw it was Keith Bontrager, a Bontrager bike. And Bontrager, most people know about it because it's like the in-house components of Trek. Bontrager was like one of the original engineers that designed like first-generation mountain bikes. That guy's like a freaking genius. I would genuinely mag if I had a chance to talk like one-on-one with Keith Bontrager. I think he's like one of the most interesting and intelligent bike dudes like out there. Poor owner got rotated. I'm so sorry. It's still a 10 out of 10. It's still out of 10 out. Yeah, I gotta wrap it up. Let's move on. 10 out of 10 though. Sorry. Now this bike definitely is like 5,000 plus, right? It's a full carbon, full squish mountain bike. Oh my freaking god, look at this thing. This thing, how much does this thing cost? Like 6K, 7K, 8K? This thing is beautiful. Oh my god. 6K? Yeah. Whew. That's a beauty. I mean, definitely 10 out of 10. Holy shit. It's a thing of beauty. It's not chrome, it's carbon. This is a full carbon mountain bike. Full carbon, full suspension mountain bike. And it's a beauty. Carbon frame. That's my kidney right there. The tasteful thickness. Damn, it's a pretty bike. Pivot? Is Pivot a newer brand? I haven't really heard of Pivot before. It's just the issue of me being like road discipline and I don't really know much about mountain bikes. How long has Pivot been around? No envies, pass. Look at those curves. Pivot is a really high-end mountain bike brand. I believe it. They're popular in MTB. Pivot has been around for a while. Okay, okay. Wait, it even has a watermark? What? Is this like... No, this is scaring me. Tasteful thickness. Oh, you're doing the American Psycho bit. Got it. My mind immediately jumped to like, oh shit, is this a stock photo? Am I gonna have to private this VOD? I had to work really hard to remove all the stock photos because that's a quick way to get privated VOD. Pivot was founded in 2007. Okay, that's still pretty new. If they were founded in 2007, they probably didn't gain steam until around like 2012, 2013, and then now they're like super high end. Is good. 10 out of 10. It's $6,000 mountain bike. That's basically what like a high-end road bike would be. Like you'll find like $10,000 road bikes, but that's basically the boutique, like the highest of the high-end like boutique brand. Like a Colnago C64, C65, whatever like number it's at now. Like a made in Italy Colnago with Dura Ace or like Campy Super Record. That can hit like 10K. But in general, I think 6K is like where you're going at. Yeah. 5-minute warning. 15,000? Is it the Aether? The specialized Aether? Like the super light one? The crazy light one? That's just like, what the fuck? Okay, one more and then we'll call it, okay? 10 out of 10, by the way. Another Pivot. This one, do you notice the bulge? This one's an e-bike. It's an e-mountain bike. Do you notice the bulge? I noticed the bulge. I noticed the bulge. I love the color. This is like my color. I like it. This is probably my favorite color. Like a muted green color. 10 out of 10. This one's definitely over 10K, right? This one's definitely over 10K. It's a full carbon, it's a carbon frame, full suspension mountain bike. That's an e-bike. So this is probably like $12,000 or some shit like that, right? It's crazy. This bike is definitely over 10K. Of course I noticed the bulge. The base model is 9,600. Pro model is, yeah, 12,000. Yeah. I don't know if this is base or pro, but goddamn. 10 out of 10. Can I get out on a soapbox? Can I get out on a soapbox? I think a lot of people, like the two dudes that I ride with, they don't like e-bikes. They don't. The two dudes that I ride with, they don't like e-bikes. They think that like, whatever. I don't want to go over like their viewpoint. They just don't like it. I like them. I personally think if it gets more people into bicycling when they wouldn't have otherwise, having like electronic assist, it can only be a good thing for cycling. Yeah. It's just good. E-bikes are good. They're super expensive. They're super expensive, which is like prohibitive, like only, yeah. I like e-bikes. I think they're good. And I think I'm pretty outspoken about that. I'm not going to pretend that I don't support e-bikes for like more people that like wouldn't be able to bike or wouldn't be able to or wouldn't enjoy bicycling otherwise, and just kind of like, bro, just let more people bike. It's just good. Yeah. Okay, everybody. I need to go eat. I need to go eat lunch with my family. I just can't. This one is $16,000. Everybody, thank you for watching. This was definitely like a self-indulgent stream, and yeah. I don't know if I feel comfortable doing another one. Maybe if I have a really bad week. I might save part 2 for like, if I have a really bad week and I need to do a stream, it's like, this stream is for me. It's not for the Vesties. This is a me stream. Then I might do it again. But I'm going to hold it in reserve. Like in case I have a really bad week and I need it. Yeah. Okay, everybody. Take care. Goodbye. Thank you for sticking around and watching me say really questionable shit about bicycles. Okay, take care, everybody. Goodbye.